A very good morning to Honorable Director Dr. Ajit More sir, Assistant Director Dr. Nilesh Mate sir, today's distinguished guest Mr. Parameswaram sir, respected faculty members and my dear students. On behalf of Bharati Vidyapeeth deemed to be University, Center for Distance and Online Education, I, Hina Thakkar, welcome you all for today's expert session on turn interviews into offers with the right skills. Mr. Parameswaram sir is an alumnus of IMED batch 1992. Over the last 33 years, he has built an illustrious career in the financial services industry, having worked with reputed organizations such as Bank of America, ABN Amro Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and Sher Khan. He has also been associated with Pioneer Client Associates, a unique private wealth company, and later with Bharati AXA Life Insurance Company. Currently, he is working as a consultant with two wealth management companies, helping them build and expand their businesses. His professional journey reflects rich and diverse experiences across both in retail banking and insurance sectors. On the personal front, his wife is a curriculum developer at the CP Goenka School. Their daughter is a counselor with Fortis Hospital, while the younger daughter has recently completed her BA LLB from Symbiosis Law School. With this brief introduction, I would now like to hand over the session to Mr. Parameswaram to take us forward. Thank you.
Hi, thank you, Hinaji. Thank you very much. Good morning to everybody. Good morning, Dr. More and Dr. Nilesh. It's a pleasure addressing this crowd. It's also a pleasure to come back to IMD and also Bharati Vidyapeeth in some manner. So, as Hina just mentioned, thank you so much, firstly, for the introduction, Hinaji. As Hina mentioned, I have had a rather extended career with the banking and financial services and insurance sector. Also, I have worked in the northern part of the country, the western part of the country, and the southern part of the country. So I understand the dynamics in each of these parts of the countries. Also, in the eastern part of the country, I have had the opportunity to visit Calcutta and Guwahati extensively during my stint with Standard Chartered Bank. So that's as far as my background is concerned. What we will try and do over the next half an hour, 40 minutes, is to try and understand or how to sharpen our interview skills so that when you hit the road after your course or graduation or post graduation that it may be, you are ready to face the corporate world, because interview skills is one such skill that you absolutely require to grow in life. And as you grow in life, you'll realize that these skills will be honed and will get sharpened with your experience. So I have a short little presentation to share with you. We will go through that presentation, and after that, we will have a discussion, which is what I prefer actually. So this let's start the sharing of the. I'm just trying and sharing the presentation. Just give me a minute. Okay, let's quickly start. Sorry for this delay. As I said, let's go through some stuff on how do you sharpen your skills on interview, and then we will quickly have a discussion around it, because that's what I prefer, because that's when we can debate for about 10-15 minutes. Okay, the first slide that I have here is what do you do when you get an interview call? You need to know what kind of interviews that you need to prepare for. So when you go for an interview, typically what happens is that the first call happens by the HR person. So when you go for an interview, the first call happens by the HR, and HR says, let's come and meet. So the HR downloads the CV, screens the CV, and calls you for interview. What do? They try and see if you fit there as far as their culture is concerned, because HR understands the culture of the organization. So they try and see if you fit their culture and what are the soft skills that you can fit in as far as the organization is concerned. That's the first screening that you do. Typically, when you approach a company, the HR reaches out to you first. Then the second round of interview, typically again, is the technical interview, where you are assessed for your technical knowledge and problem solving of that particular organization. Say you are going to an engineering company, so they will probably, or IT company, they will probably give you a small little assignment and try and see how you solve that assignment. So that's a technical interview where you're assessed on your technical knowledge. Sometimes they also give you a case study to try and see whether how do you solve a case. So if they can give, they might give you a situation where they will say that, okay, this is the situation, try and come up with solution for this situation. So this is typically a case study where you are gauged on how well are you equipped to solve a solution or a problem that exists in the case. So this could vary from various situations in the organization. So typically the case studies are again live examples. And the last one is the panel interview. Sometimes what happens is that you can skip directly from the HR interview to the panel interview. You may not have a technical interview, you may not have a case interview. Sometimes what they do is they call you for an interview and you may not even know that there is a panel waiting for you to be interviewed. So they could be a joint interview conducted sometimes by the HR, by the.
Sir, kindly keep your camera on the center, sir. We cannot see your entire face.
Is it better now?
Yes, better.
Okay. So sometimes there is no specific separate HR interview or technical interview or case interview. They could just be a panel interview in which you will have the line manager, which is probably, for example, if you go to a banking sector, somebody and you are being interviewed for the sales of auto car. So you will have the HR head who will be sitting there. You will also have the auto loans head sitting there, and also could be a regional head or a sales head who could be sitting there. So this is called as a panel interview. So you go through the panel interview at one shot. So this is actually faster and works better. So if you are prepared well and if you take the questions head on and answer it well, it'll actually be easier because this is one round of interviews. Okay, moving on to the next slide. What are the steps that are required to succeed in an interview? So these are some of the things these are experiences that I'm sharing from my own last 33 years of experience. So some of these things I have actually gone through it, and that's what I'm trying to share with you. So before I go for an interview, I try and do some mock interview sessions for myself. So sometimes I actually ask my my friend or my colleague or in fact, sometimes I do it to my daughter who is old enough to try and do practice mock interviews. So they have a set of, we share a set of questions with them and ask them to shoot at me. And then I practice on the answers of these questions. So this is a very, very effective tool to succeed in an interview because it gives you confidence. It's all about confidence. You know, when you go for the interview, what does the interviewer see? He sees what is your confidence level at the first stage. So this gives you the confidence. So prepare questions. You can actually prepare, where you can actually anticipate questions. So for example, I'll just take a step back and say, most of you, if I am assuming that most of you are freshers and you're just going to be entering the corporate world for the first time, what are the kind of questions that you can expect? So he will probably ask you, please tell me something about yourself. So you start telling something about yourself, starting with the introduction of your name, your family background, your institute background, what have you done, what are your specialization in your course.
Sir.
Hello. What are the specialization in your courses?
Sir.
And yeah, tell me. And what are the specialization in your courses?
Sir.
And can you please put yourself on mute, please? I'm getting some noise in between. Yeah. So these kind of questions, prepare you very well to face the interviewer. Okay. So preparing questions is where we were. So it's absolutely important to prepare your questions well in advance. So practice this mock interviews. What I do normally is that even at this stage of my career, stand in front of the mirror, a full life-size mirror, and practice my questions. I ask these questions and say, how would I answer this? Okay, the next big one is the job description. Typically when you go for an interview, the first. Okay, I hope it's stable now. So job description, gives you a brief into what you're going to be doing in that job. So it's absolutely important for you to understand the job that you're applied for. So when you see the job description, you go to LinkedIn and see this, you will see a nice small little paragraph about what the job is all about. So they'll tell you it's a sales job, you will be leading teams, you will be required to bring in new clients. So it will be a brief description of. So also after studying the job description, when you're applied for a particular company, when you go for a campus recruitment, if somebody says, sorry, somebody like a Bajaj Electricals come for a campus placement, just take 15 minutes or half an hour of your time to go through the profile of the company, understand what the company is into, what is. So we were at. Let me restart with job description. So when you apply for a job, the HR will normally send you a job description of the job that you applied for. So it's absolutely imperative that you go through the job description and understand. So it'll carry a description about what you're expected to do, what is the role expectation. Say if you're applying for a sales job, it will say that you're required to get new clients, you're required to onboard new clients. This will be the target for you. You will be reporting to so and so person. All these things will be clearly mentioned on the job description. So it's absolutely imperative that you go through the job description. The last point in this is the research of the company. This is extremely critical. Say you applied. I was giving you an example of Bajaj Electricals. So you applied for a job in Bajaj Electricals for a product manager or a product executive. So it's it's absolutely critical that you spend about half an hour or 1 hour trying to read about this company. So just go through the company. Who are the who heads this company? Who's the CEO? What are the product lines that they work in? What is their last 3 years sales? What is their profits? How many employees are there? How many branches are there? So these are the kind of stuff that you prepare with. It may not be asked, but it's always I personally believe that it's always good to be over prepared than be under prepared. So it's always, this is my mantra for the interview skills. We always be over prepared than be under prepared. So go with complete confidence so that you cannot get rattled when you face the interview panel. Okay, the professional impression. So this is my personally, this is my favorite slide. I'll just pause here for a minute because I have this one little concept in my mind which I've been following for the last 33 years whenever I've gone for interviews. There is a concept of 90 seconds. What does this 90-second mean? The 90 seconds mean, and this is very close to my heart. And I have hired hundreds of people in my life in the last 33 years, and this is one differentiator that I've kept in mind whenever I have interviewed or gone for an interview. The 90-second rule for me simply means how you enter the room for the interview, whether it is a panel interview, whether it's an HR interview, whether it's a technical interview, whether it's a product interview or sales interview, whatever it may be. How do you enter the room is absolutely critical for me when I hire somebody. When you enter, are you walking straight? Is your posture correct? Is your confidence right? How do you walk in? Do you knock the door? Say, may I come in? And what kind of body language do you portray? So this positive body posture is critical when you move into the interview room. If you do not have and these 4 points that I mentioned here are absolutely critical for me when I hire somebody. And imagine when you walk into to the interview, and if your body is drooping, your professional attire, which is supposed to be a suit and a tie, if it's not there, you don't need to. I don't say that you need to wear the fanciest of suits, but if you wear a nice little suit or at least a blazer with a tie and a clean shirt, polished shoes, it does make a difference on the interviewer. These are very small tips and basic tips I'm sharing with you, but these are extremely critical when somebody walks into my cabin, knocking the door. The first thing that hits me is, are you smelling nice? Are you wearing a good dress? Is a shirt ironed? Is your shoes polished? How do you shake your hand? Is it just a shake hand for the sake of shaking hand, or it's a firm grip? So these are some of the body language posters and professional attires which are critical when you make the first impression. So when you make the first impression, the interviewer actually goes on the back foot, and you start with the confidence, and that's what you want to do when you enter the room. So the third point, as I said, is the confident handshake. I have seen people who come and just shake hands very loosely, and I have got some guys who come and shake their hands very firmly with you. I would prefer the latter because it shows me aggression, it shows me confidence. So you need to have these things in mind. Eye contact. Okay, this is a non-negotiable item. So when you meet somebody, you have to have a firm eye contact. You cannot be rolling your eyes all over. So some of these things, and this is a 90-second rule. All these things are gauged by me when I interview somebody in the first 90 seconds. What are they? Positive body posture. As I said, professional attire. You need to smell good. You need to have ironed clothes, preferably a suit with a nice tie, with your shoes polished. You may think what is so important, but it's absolutely important. If you're in a place like Mumbai or Calcutta or Chennai, and you go in with a sweaty shirt, smelling not so good, it's actually maybe worth it to probably sit in the air-conditioned office for some time. Go to the washroom, use a deo, carry a deo with you, and spray the deo on you before you actually get into the meeting. These are very small things, but it matters a lot. Confident handshake, critical thing. These are some of the body postures that are very, very important for me personally. Eye contact. What kind of eye contact that you have? So this is absolutely important, so that when the person sees you, he gets a feel of confidence that if I am handing over a job to him, this guy will do it. That's what I'm looking at. See, everything else is GAN. How do I portray myself? What kind of a person that I come across is the most important thing. As you go up the ladder, towards once you have 5 years experience, 10 years experience, 15 years experience, nobody sees you for your knowledge. They first gauge your body language, because your professional knowledge and corporate knowledge is already taken for granted. But how do you come across in your posture? Okay, how do you sit in front of the interviewer? Do you sit crouched, or do you sit with your legs across? If I was you, I will sit with my legs across and with an eye contact directly with the interviewer. So these are some of the things that are important, so that you have to portray that you're confident and you're there and you mean business. Okay. Next important thing is, how do you communicate effectively? Communication is an often repeated topic in every college. How do you what kind of communication skills that you need to have? I think all of us have gone through, right from our 9th standard, 10th standard, 11th, 12th, graduation. Everywhere, this is a very, very pet topic for all of us. But this continues throughout your life. Trust me, guys, this continues throughout your life. So some of the tips that I have put in here is, be a good listener. And pardon me for saying this, there are very, very big stalwarts in this. Director, assistant director, some of the professionals are there on this group. But Indians typically are not good listeners. We tend to overtalk. We are not good listeners. So learn to be a good listener first. Because when you don't listen first, you don't understand what the guy sitting in front of you is trying to communicate. आपको पता नहीं चलेगा वो क्या बोलना चाहता है. उसके बीच में आप टोक दोगे, तो आपको you will not understand what is he trying to actually ask you or communicate with you. And this is a very, 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 very typical trait of an Indian. We don't want to listen. हमको 4 टिप्पणी देना है. Sachin Tendulkar doesn't bat well. We sit in a group and say, Sachin ऐसा कर रहा है, ऐसा करना चाहिए, ऐसा करना चाहिए. But be a good listener first. And have a clarity and conciseness in what you communicate. Don't beat around the bush. You go to the point. Again, this point is extremely close to my heart. Answer only what you're asked for. Do not volunteer information. Whatever you're asked for, just answer that. If somebody is asking you a question about marketing or any specific topic about marketing, only stick to that. Don't volunteer information, because you could be leading the interviewer to a weak area of yours, and you don't want to do that. If the interviewer wants to grill you further, he will ask you further questions. But do not volunteer information beyond what is asked for, and have absolute clarity of what you're talking about. Because you don't want to be on the wrong side of the wicket, so that when somebody asks you a question on that, you're able to back your answers. Directness. As I said, keep the message focused and impactful. Do not volunteer more than what you're asked for. Just be sharp shooting and answer only what you're asked for. Don't create an impact. Talk well, talk confidently. Command. You should have the command on your topic that you're answering. The last one is again, all the trainers in the world will talk to you about this, which is called as the STAR method, which is STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. This is basically nothing but a situation. When you have an interview, and as you go through your career, this will be more relevant at that time. what is important is in a situation, what I mean by saying situation is that you can actually explain a situation that you were in your career and how you came out of that situation. It could happen even in a fresh interview. You could actually say, this is what happened in my college. This is the kind of work that I have done in my college. This is the predicament that I was under. This is the problem I was under, and I came out successfully in this way. Task. How did you go about implementing the task? How did you go about solving that situation that you were in? That's task. Action. What kind of action did you take to make sure that the solution or the situation was resolved completely? That's action. And result. Just do an analysis of the result. What was the result? Tell him as a result, okay, this is the problem I faced. This is the steps I took to make sure that the solution is reached. And this is the action plan that I put in place to reach that solution. And as a result of that, this is the result that was there. So for example, I had a solution, I had a problem. My sales was not, for example, I'm just giving you an example from my sales experience. My sales had stagnated for the last 1 year. We were struggling. My sales were not moving up. The fan, for example, Bajaj Electricals again, say, for example, I was dealing with the sales of fans, ceiling fans. The ceiling fans was not going up. The sales was not going up. So what did I do? This is the problem. So what are the tasks that I assumed? Did I appoint more dealers? Did I give more discounts? Did I introduce more, varieties of fans? These are 3, 4, 5 steps that I did. As a result of that, what happened? Eventually, did the sales increase? Did the sales increase by 10%, 15%? This is sales increase for the color of black. Did the sales increase for color of brown? So then you can do your analysis basis that. So this is a very, very effective tool to measure your success. Okay, how do I prepare for an interview? Again, this is again coming back to basics. Stand in front of the mirror. This is again my pet topic. Ask insightful questions. When you sit in front of the interviewer, ask him questions. You don't have to get, diffident. You don't want to get shy and, scared of the interviewer. Come across as confident. Ask him questions that interest you and aligns the career goals with the role that has been offered to you. Ask him. So, sir, this is the kind of role that they offered me. How do you think that I can contribute to this role? After the interview is over, showcase technical knowledge. Sometimes it's very, very important to showcase your expertise and competence in the field. You may not be able to do it at the beginning of a career, but this is an effective tool to prepare for your interview. As you go through your career, this will be a very, very good tool to showcase. So you can showcase that this is what I've done, this is what I know, and this is the technical knowledge that I possess. Situational questions. Again, we tackled star on the last slide. This is a situational question. So you will be asked in your interviews. They will present a case study or a situation, and they will ask you what will you do in this situation. I remember when I passed out of MBA from IMED and I went for my first interview, I was asked to sell a pen to the interviewer. So they'll ask you this question: can you sell this pen to me? The favorite question that floats around in the corporate world is that how do you sell a comb to a bald person? So these are situational questions that you can be asked. So you have to be prepared for it. And as I said, rehearse these questions. Some of these questions. Stand in front of the mirror and ask these questions and rehearse them well. The last point that I want to make in the slide is always be aware of your strengths and weakness. This again, it's a very tricky question. Many interviewers have this habit of asking you, please share your strengths and weaknesses. It's very easy to say strengths. I am a people's man. I can lead from the front. I am a leader. All those things. But when it comes to weakness, never show that I am a shy guy or something like that. Show your weakness also as a strength. For example, how do I put this now? You can say that I am a very impatient person. For example, it comes across as a negative, but it doesn't come across as a negative. It means that your impatient means you are really desperate for success. So some of these things are the weaknesses that you can project, not as exactly as weakness. You can't say that I'm a very shy person, I can't walk straight. These kind of things are come across as a weak statement. How do you make weakness as your strength? As I said, I am a very I am a very short-tempered guy. How do you work on that? So build on those strengths, and how do you attack those kind of questions? To build on those things, don't give away your weakness in terms of complete weakness. Show it as a strength somewhere. Things that hinder success in an interview. Okay, many times when we go for an interview, we are shy. We are probably going for the first time. We don't know what to expect from an interview. It happens because we're all. Some of you are graduating for the first time. You never faced an interview in their life. So you wonder how do I go about this interview? So that can hinder your success in interview are things like not asking questions. You can ask questions. Nobody is telling you not to ask questions. I encourage. In fact, when I finish my round of interviews with my candidates, and most of us, I'm just giving an example of myself. Don't feel bad about it, but most interviewers ask this question at the interview end. We ask them, okay, this is it. Do you have any questions from your side? Do you want me to answer something? Do you want me to answer something more about the role? Do you need to know anything more from me? These things I ask normally, but there are a lot of people who don't ask this also. But you can always go ahead and ask these questions. Okay, don't come across as overconfidence. Don't come across as nervous. Be your normal self. It's absolutely important to be your normal self. And how will you be your normal self? By preparing well. When you go for your exam, when you go for your final semester exams, if you're prepared well, you're confident. You can never be overconfident because you don't know what the question paper is being, how the question paper is being set. You can at best study from your last three semesters paper and prepare for it. But you don't know whether the question paper maker is going to stick to the same parameters or is going to change it. You don't know that, but you have to be prepared from your side. So it's neither good to be over prepared, neither good to be under prepared. Just be prepared. Just be your normal self. So don't be nervous. Don't be overconfident. Biggest blunder that you can do is not prepare at all. Many people come for the interview just for the sake of it. देखा जाएगा मेरे को सब पता है. I know everything. I have handled these things. मैंने 4 subjects में मैंने I have scored 75 out of 80 or 90 out of 100. कोई भी कुछ भी question पूछ लिया तो I will answer. No problem. I can answer and tackle the situation. No, take a step back. Even if you are a topper, just take a step back. As I said earlier, identify your best subject that you have, and you're the most confident in the subject. Identify that subject, brush up that subject once before you go for the meeting. Just brush it up. You may be the best, you may be the topper there, but just brush up the subject. Because when you're a fresher, and I have interviewed freshers many times, what do I ask you about? I don't have your background in terms of your work, so I ask you about your family background. I ask you about your college. I ask you about your topics in your class, and then come to a very pertinent question, asking you which is your favorite subject. Then I will start asking you on that subject. You must, actually, there are a lot of these interviews that are going around in Facebook. I don't know how many of you use Facebook, but there are this, mock interviews that people go for IAS and IPS preparations. You can actually see those, those videos. Go through that. If I can locate them, I'll send it to Hina and Anushka. But go through those videos and see how these people conduct mock interviews and how these people come prepared for these interviews. Okay, and this last point is not so relevant for freshers, but when you go to the next job after that, the next job after that, this is absolutely important. Never speak negatively about your previous employer. But that shows you very poorly. You can always say that, look, it didn't work out for me. This is what happened, and I decided to move out. Never, because then they say that this guy is not going to be here for long. He will badmouth us also in the industry. Nobody likes any organization to be badmouthed in the industry. So just say, look, it didn't work out for me. This is what I did, and this is what I'm looking to do in the next 5 years, and that's why I'm looking for a change. Just keep it simple and plain. Okay, this is pretty much the last slide from my side. Sorry, we've taken a long time, but at the end of the meeting, how do you exit the meeting? Many times it's just a handshake. As I said, the interviewer will ask you, do you have any questions to ask me? At that time, ask questions. Ask the questions if you want to understand about the role, about the organization, about the interviewer himself. Ask these questions. People love to be asked. And if in India, people like ego massage. So if I am interviewing you, and if you ask me about your role, about the organization, about if you go to a nice looking office, you can actually open the conversation by saying that, so you have a very, very nice office and nice cabin. When you go to an interview, many times you'll see the interviewer having a lot of certificates and trophies and plaques in his room. You can actually start saying, sir, it's so nice to see so many so many awards that you won. It's very nice. It actually breaks the ice at the first meeting itself, first point itself, first minute itself. So then you get comfortable with each other. So what do you do end of it? When you ask questions, when you leave, express gratitude. Thank you, and say thank you loudly, and shake hands again firmly and say thank you. And reiterate interest. Not again. Reiterate interest, not by becoming desperate, saying that, sir, whatever you give, I will take it up. I am not very very stuck on salary. Whatever salary you want, I'll take it up. No. Just say thank you very much, sir. It will be my pleasure if I can get a chance to prove myself in this organization. Leave it at that. Just say it would be my pleasure to work with you and your organization and prove myself if I get a chance. Leave it there. Just reiterate your interest. If there is an opportunity, many times you don't get this opportunity, but you can ask for next steps. Normally, what happens is that interviewer himself says, look, if there is nothing else, he will say, if you want to ask me any questions, please ask me. If you say, no, sir, or you ask a set of questions, then he said, okay, fine. What I will do is I will forward your papers to my HR or to my manager, and you will have one more round of interview. So he will volunteer the information. Sometimes it's difficult to ask this next steps because it's embarrassing to ask, because you're not sure whether you actually clear the interview or not. And in today's world, sometimes it also makes sense to send a thank you mail. So I have practiced this. I have sent this in the last few interviews of mine. I have sent a thank you when I come back, because I have their email IDs, because normally these meetings are set up through mails. So I send a thank you mail to both the HR and the line manager saying thank you for the opportunity given, and I really look forward to the next steps. So these are some of the things that are absolutely critical, and if you can bear in mind, it will go a long distance in helping you. So key takeaways. What are the key takeaways? Pretty much the last slide. Key takeaways for you. One is preparation. This is the basis for anything. Whether you're doing a project, whether you're doing a wedding in your house, whether you're doing a ceremony in your house, whether you're preparing for an examination, whether you're preparing for an interview, preparation is the key to anything. I mean, there's nothing that can substitute this. Confidence. You need to again, these four things that I've mentioned here are not necessarily only for interviews, guys. This is for any situation that you face in life. So preparation, confidence. How confident are you? Tomorrow you will have a situation at home. How do you tackle this situation confidently? You will be looked upon from your family side as to how do you help them solve the situation. It's not necessarily only in the corporate world. So how confidently do you come across to help solve the problem? So confidence is also important everywhere. Of course, interview is what we are all here for. Communication skills. Absolutely clear. Be a good listener. Understand what the other person is trying to say. Don't have ego. Usne kya bol diya, isne kya bol diya. Have verbal communication, non-verbal communication. Very, very clear in it. Be a good listener. As I said, Indians are not good listeners. Please cultivate this habit of being a good listener all through your life. Let them make a point. Fine, let them make a point. Whether good, bad, ugly, we can decide later. But let them make a point. Because when you hear the person totally, then you can prepare your answer accordingly. Adha adhura sun ke aap kya baat karoge unse? He will say, ruk ja bhai, let me finish. This happens in our personal life also. So hear the person out completely. You then give yourself about 10-15 seconds to strategize and respond. It helps you. Body language. As I said, body language covers everything, right from entering the room to shaking your hands to smelling good, wearing good clothes, ironed shirts, polished shoes, greeting with eye contact. All these things are absolutely critical. Again, I'm rating this is not only for your corporate world, not for your first job, all through your life, be it personal life, be it professional life. So I will stop here after this. Happy to take any questions. Let's have a open session for about 10-15 minutes, maybe take about 5-6 questions, and then we can close the session. Sorry, we had this technical glitch. Sorry for that. So I'm all yes. Any question from your side? Anything that you want me to help with? I can help with. I can also share my email ID if that's required through Hina and Anushka, and you can write to me also for any problem that you face as far as interview skills are concerned. Any help that you want, I can share my number and my email ID with both Hina and Anushka that they can share with you. I'm always available. Any questions, anything that you want to ask me, please feel free. I mean, there is nothing called as a, I keep saying this all to my teams and whenever I make presentations and talk to them in conferences, there's nothing called as a stupid question. There's nothing called as a silly question. It might sound stupid to you, but it might end up helping others. So don't feel shy. You can ask any question. We will try to answer it. I'll try to answer it to my best of my abilities. If I can't, I will come back to you through Hina and Anushka. And that's my promise to you. So please feel free to ask. I mean, there is nothing called as a small question or a silly question.
Yes, if you have any questions, students, kindly raise your hand. Okay.
I think most people have. Yeah.
Yes, Alam. You can speak now.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
200 research papers.
Yeah, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है. Is that Alam?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Alam. Tell me.
Sir, you have given the tips about the interview, like how to behave, how to present yourself in the interview. But what about prior to the interview stage? Like if I'm if I choose a company, suppose, and I need to go there, so how should I approach the company, or should I approach the people of the company first, or directly I should go to the HR, or how should be the process which looks that I'm professional?
Okay. Good question. So there is no one fixed answer for this. There are two situations in this, Alam. One is I'm assuming a situation where.
So
can you put it on mute, please? Sorry?
No, sorry. Why?
No. Can I answer that question?
Tomorrow morning.
Can I answer the question? Yeah. Alam, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
There's some cross talk that's happening.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can I request everybody put on mute, please? Can I request everybody to be on mute, please? Sincere request.
Yes, sir, everybody is on mute.
Okay. So Alam, there are two scenarios that I'm looking at. One is a situation, and I don't know your background, so I'm assuming you are a student and you're probably looking at a final placement from your college. So there are two situations. One, if there's a final placement that's happening in your college, then you will know in first hand itself which is the company that is coming for your final placement. So in that case, you just have to forward your CV to the placement desk, and they will help you place it with the relevant company. And in that case, you just have to prepare about the company and about the role that is being offered. So you prepare about the role a little bit and read about the company, saying what is the background of the company and what are they into, what are the product lines that are there, and what is the sales, what is their, how many branches they have, what is the profitability. If possible, if you're a BBA or MBA student, go to the stock market and see how the stock has done and what is the and how last 1 year how the stock has done, how the industry has done. Do that kind of reading. That's as far as the final placement is concerned. Now the second situation is where you're directly approaching the company. In which case, you may have to do some digging around and reach out to the HR. Okay, you can't. What happens is, in the excellent tool to go there is to be a part of LinkedIn. So very often I am on LinkedIn, for example. On LinkedIn, you can reach out to companies through LinkedIn, and there, what you do is when you tag the companies, for example, you go to. Do you have an LinkedIn account, Alam?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when you go to your LinkedIn account, you can actually say, I'm looking for a job. This is my profile. Attach your profile and tag the companies that you want to work with. When you tag the companies, for example, I'm giving you an example of BFSI because I know that well. So the similar thing can be done for manufacturing, for other industries also. So if you want to work with a bank, for example, you can actually go to the LinkedIn and tag the bank. So you can say HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, IndusInd Bank, Citibank, wherever. All these banks you can tag. And then what happens is that they will respond. And I've seen people responding. Okay, then they will respond saying that thank you for your interest. This is our website. You can go to that website and see the available jobs and apply. Or they will send you their HR ID. So they'll send you the HR ID. You can go to the HR ID and apply on that. So ideally, it's better to try and track the HR ID and respond to them. Many times you can actually go to the company website. You can do that also as a third activity. You can go to the company's website and go to their career section. Every company has something called as a career section. Go to the career section, drop down, and they will have some of them have jobs listed on that. Otherwise, they will have an ID that you can apply for. So apply to the ID and hope and pray that they respond. If there are jobs listed on that, you can directly apply on the jobs. So is that okay, Alan?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
No
That
problem.
was helpful.
Pleasure. But this is a good point brought up by Alam. If you guys are not on LinkedIn, please get on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a very, very effective tool. And some of
Hi,
us
sir.
like
Good
me.
morning. Sneha this
Yeah.
side.
Yes, Neha, tell me.
So I wanted to ask, like, how can we follow up in the right way after an interview? So sometimes it happens that after one or two rounds, we don't hear back for several days. So how should we approach that?
It's a very, very valid question, Sneha. It's a very, very valid question. I'm glad that you asked that. It gets very, very embarrassing to sometimes go back and ask. Okay, now typically, and I'm keep repeating the word typically because I love that word. Typically, what happens is that when you go for an interview, there is a coordinator who's coordinating this entire round of interviews. So it could be either a HR person or it could be a business person. So when they set up the meetings, they will actually either mail you or call you or reach out to you in some other ways. So at the end of the interview, again the interviewer will tell you, we'll be in touch with you. We'll come back to you. So it is very, very difficult to reach out to them, and it's very embarrassing. You don't know when to reach out, what to reach out, and you are sitting waiting for the response to come. So sometimes it makes sense to reach out to the person who's coordinated this interview. Sometimes, and just make one or two inquiries. Don't make beyond that, because you'll end up irritating them and frustrating them. Because I come from the school of thought, and pardon me for saying this, that if somebody likes you and if somebody actually thinks that there is a job that requires hiring immediately, and they like you, the position will get closed immediately. There is no delay. It doesn't get delayed. If you are interviewing with me and I find you good and you're fit, and see, I remember, okay, let me take a step back to all of you. When I am hiring somebody, I already have I'm under pressure. I know that I have to hire 15 people in the next 1 month. And it's not only you are under pressure, I am also under pressure. I have been given this guidance from my company saying that this is the profile that we need to hire, and we need people joining the company, say from 1st of November, for example. So I am also under pressure to finish and close hiring. So if I like a candidate, I will, again, typically I'm saying this, will make an offer in the next 24 hours to 48 hours. So if you're not hiring, if you're not listening or hearing from somebody for 2 weeks and 3 weeks, it's unlikely that you've been shortlisted. I'm being very open. But one way of trying to figure out is to reach out to the person who has coordinated this meeting for you. Does that answer your question, Sneha? But broadly put, if you have done well, if there is a requirement of the company, they should be able to close this requirement in 48 hours to 72 hours. If it is lingering on, it means that either that role has vanished or they have moved ahead with another candidate. Is that clear, Sneha?
Yes.
I hope I answered that question. So these are some of, yeah, it could be a bitter truth sometimes, but you have to move on. And if you're a fresher, you should look at multiple options. Keep your multiple options open. Yeah. Any more questions? Happy to take. Hi, sir. Hi, Milan. Can't hear you.
Yes, Milan. Now you can speak.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, good afternoon. Hi, Milan. Tell me.
So my question is, how can we handle unexpected or tricky interview questions?
Yeah, okay. Very good question again. And I have faced this many often. Okay. There are 2-3 ways of answering this question. Sometimes, and when this question comes up, hand on heart, Milan, when I'm asked a question which I don't know, for example, this is what we're hinting at. It is always better to actually say, I don't know. I'm sorry, sir, I am not up to date on this, but can I come back to you? Or be very honest and say, sorry, sir, I don't know this, rather than telling something which is wrong. Because, if that person is asking you this question, he is aware of the answer. Invariably, he knows uska answer kya hai. So, aapne usko galat jawab de diya that you are out of the race completely. He will put a negative impact. But if you tell him that, sir, I don't know about this, honestly, I don't know about this, he's okay. He'll say, okay, fine, let's move on with the next question. And it's happened with me many, many often, both as an interviewer and as an interviewee. And I have not lost jobs because I have said, I don't know the question. I don't know the answer. So honestly, I don't know that. But if it happens that you are going to keep saying, I don't know, 5-6 times, then it can impact your interview. But if it's a one-off question, then you can actually hand on heart say, sir, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to this. It's better to be honest rather than beat around the bush, because if I'm asking you a question, say, for example, I ask you, would you know how much is the turnover of my company? And by chance you've not prepared for it, and you give me say 300 crores, and the actual figure is about 500 crores. And I'll say, boss, okay, this guy is not prepared at all. And you would rather say, sorry, sir, I have not gone through it. And this is my apologies, I don't know about it. So I'll say, fine, no problem. So I'll ask you another question which you are probably prepared for. And you will not lose your chance. So it's better to be open many times. That's why I said communication is important. And there's no shame in saying that. Absolutely no shame. You're not going to lose a job because you are honest. Unless the guy is deliberately putting you in a spot. If the guy is also honest with you, he will ensure that you're not losing a job because you're not answering one or two questions. Because he will find you good in other parts.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
No, not at all. Not at all. Anything else? More than happy to take, guys. I know it's a very delicate topic, and we can speak for 2 days on interviewing skills. And my personal experience I can keep sharing for next 3 days. But we will get hopefully we'll get more opportunities to interact. As I said, please feel free. I will leave my numbers with both Hina and Anushka. Please feel free to call me any point of time. Happy to mentor you. Happy to help you with any situations that you face. And I keep urging you. I will keep urging you to stand in front of the mirror and keep doing mock interviews, because that will sharpen your skills as you go on. That's the best way of doing it. Everything. I mean, start with your handshake. Actually stand in front of the mirror with a suit, wear nice clothes. You will feel nice about it. or do a mock interview with your closest friend, with your senior. Those things, this kind of things help you. They really sharpen your skills and give you that confidence. And don't lose heart. Don't lose heart. One interview gone, one job gone is not the end of the world for you. These things I've learned the hard way, guys. I keep telling my team, life is not about one interview or one job. It's about, and I have spent 33 years in industry. If you had asked me this question 33 years back, I also would have been, saying, oh shit, naukri chala gaya. But it's not about one job, guys. It's about 35 years of your career. ठीक हो जाएगा. Don't lose heart. एक interview click नहीं होगा, other interviews will click. Probably you're destined for a better job, better organization. Don't lose heart. Prepare harder, go hard, prepare well, do well for the next interview. Experience also counts. Sometimes, what you could do is, even if the interview is not in the line of, for example, you have campus interviews, and I presume many of you are going to be attending campus interviews shortly. So even if the company comes which is not in your line of what do I say, interest. For example, you want to get into a banking, but if this is an FMCG company that's coming for interview, just go and attend that interview. At least you will know what the interviewer is asking, and it will be an enriching experience for you. You'll know what kind of questions to anticipate because you're a fresher.
Good morning, sir.
Attend as many. Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
I'm Khadija, and I'm doing my BBA right now. I'm really interested in a business analyst internship, but I want to make sure my resume actually stands out. What should I focus on or highlight to catch the recruiter's eyes, and what's the interview process usually looks like for this kind of roles?
So a very, again, important question, because the CV speaks to the interviewer. Actually CV talks. When you present a good CV, it actually talks to me. So highlight your and I am presuming that you've done a project in a business analyst space in your summer internship. So if you've done are you looking for summer internship or a final placement, Khadija?
No, sir, I haven't done any internships yet. This will be my first.
Okay, so then you highlight your interest in that, saying that what are your skill sets? So what are your skills? If you have skill sets in data analysis, if you have skill sets in understanding data, how do you read data? And many very often, I would also encourage you to do small, 2 weeks courses, 3 weeks courses, 4 weeks courses online. There's a lot of these courses that are available from Udemy and even foreign universities. They give you the small courses for 10 days, 15 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, somehow, and many of these courses are free. You don't need to pay for them. So do these courses, even if the payment is there, it's very, very small. For example, at this stage, about 5 years back, I did a intensive course on Excel, Microsoft Excel, because I realized that I was not good at Microsoft Excel. So I did a Microsoft Excel course for about 800 rupees. It was a discounted course on Udemy, which cost 3,000. It came to me for 800 rupees. So I did that course. It was a 1-month course. So Khadija, I would encourage you to do this kind of courses and enrich yourself with those small snippets and small courses, which will add to your CV when you apply to the companies.
Okay,
so,
sir. Thank you.
You have to create a differentiator for you from the rest of your competition. So there has to be talking points in your CV, right? When you write, you are from BBA, you are from BCA, you are from IIT, which is the top university. All that you can write, but if you can add certain skill sets to your CV, it'll really stand out and create a differentiator for you. So go to sites like Udemy and see what you can add for a business analyst role. And many courses are free, free or minimal cost. So I'm not suggesting that you put 25,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees for courses. No, I'm not suggesting that. I won't spend that kind of money for myself. So do courses which are small, sasta tika. Some of them are also free.
Okay,
and there are
thank you so much.
10-day courses, 15-day courses, 3-week courses, and you have the right time. October is you have still time for summer internships and all that. So do these courses now. So it will enrich and you can put them in your CV.
Yes, sir.
So I hope that helps you.
Yes, sir. That is. Thank you so much.
No problem. Any other questions?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello again. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
want
tell
to
me.
ask you a question which is out of the box, like it's not related to interview. Today we hear many news about a person who started a startup,
Huh.
and so is startup creating a startup, establishing a startup, is it that easy? So I
Oh,
just need a reality check,
no,
quick
no.
reality
So,
check on this.
okay, okay. So let me answer this. Let me try and answer this, Alam. So you can help me answer this question, okay, Alam. And interesting question that you asked me. Nothing is easy in life. Okay. For every, and I'm not trying to scare you here. For every one startup that succeeds, there are probably 1,000 who don't succeed. Okay. And we only look at Boat and Zomatos of the world which are successful. There are a lot of people who have not succeeded. Having said that, uh, if you have a differentiator in place, Alam, if you think out of the box as you're thinking out of the box right now, and it's very interesting that you're at this age thinking out of the box. And if you can actually think out of the box, nobody thought about Boat, right? What have you, do you know Boat, Alam? The speakers that they
Yes, sir. Yes,
manufacture.
sir.
Yeah. So what was Boat? I mean, he just till Boat came onto the scene. You only had those, these Samsungs of the world and Apples of the world giving you those wired headsets. Boat came into the market and disrupted the entire market and created those headphones and earphones, which are Bluetooth speakers and stuff like. Do you know the background of Aman Gupta? Aman Gupta came up, who's the starter of startup, who's the startup CEO of Boat. He comes from very, very middle class or lower middle class family, then went on to do his, and from Delhi, and then went on to do his IIT from Delhi, and went to work with Citibank and a couple of other banks before he ventured onto Boat. And when he ventured onto Boat for 1.5 years, and this is for everybody and specifically to Alam, for 1.5 years, Alam, he lost money. He continued to lose money. And after 1.5 years to 2 years, he started making money. So one is you need to have the out of the box idea, as you rightly said. Second is you need to have perseverance. And third is to stay invested in that idea of yours. And you need to have that conviction ki boss, हाँ मैं करना चाहती हूँ, this is my idea, and this idea will work come what may, and I will stay invested in this. Okay, there's another nice analogy I want to bring into this point of yours, Alam. If you go to the Gujarati businessman or a Gujarati startup, he will tell you that it is my business. I had to support for 1,000 days or 3 years. You get my point? They say that 1,000 days or 3 years, whichever is you view it, is basically 3 years. अगर मेरा business 3 साल चल गया, तो मेरा business चल गया. So if that is your positive attitude, that's what you want to enter with. The space is brilliant. The government of India is supporting startups like never before. There are subsidies being given for startups, so you can approach government of India for startup, subsidies and investments and stuff like that. And there are enough and more venture capitalists and private equity players. If you have a out of the box and brilliant ideas, they are willing to invest in them. But you need to come up with ideas that are sustainable and you believe in it. And it's a struggle. Initially, it's a struggle. So you'll have to go from pillar to post to make sure that your idea is invested in and people show interest in that. Once that is done, sky is the roof. You can become a unicorn in 2 years' time or 3 years' time. Hope that answers it, Alam.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
But be invested. That's the whole idea.
But the recording. With this, I would like to thank sir for conducting such a lovely
No problem.
session for the students.
My pleasure. My pleasure. As I said, I'll send you my email ID and mobile number. please feel free to share with them, however it's possible. My pleasure, guys, and we will be in touch.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, students.
Thank you, Director and Assistant Director, for this opportunity. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
sir.
much.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.